Hey everyone, so I'm going to make this video about my loft I just made. I live in a small apartment in downtown Portland, just under 300 square feet, and it was really crowded for a long time until I started looking into tiny homes and realized I need to do something to improve my quality of life in a small area. And I came up with this, which is my loft. Which has worked out really well, so much so I just absolutely love it. Before, my bed was over in this area and it took up so much room that I didn't hardly have room for anything else. And so now that I've constructed this loft, I have created essentially a bedroom up above, and down below I have an office. And now I have a spot that's like a sitting area. I plan on getting some different chairs and whatnot to make it real nice to sit down and look outside the window. It's pretty cool. I have a train stop right over there. So it's an excellent location. And now that I have this loft, I absolutely love living here, living in this small apartment. It turns out I don't need much room if you just use space wisely. And so I'll show you some of the details of my loft. I found plans online, looking at YouTube videos, and this one isn't quite finished yet. I'm a graduate student working heavily on homework, which I'm doing right now. Actually, you can see on the computer. Urban planning, bicycles. So yeah, I started out with making I got 4x4s here on the sides, and I put one 4x4 here going vertically, and then I put a 4x4 across the top, another 4x4 vertically, and then they're connected here on the sides via these right here by 2x4s, and one on the bottom and angled here. I chiseled out the inside here to make it more stable, and it works very, very well. Chiseling this out though with just a hand chisel, chiseling 1, 2, 5, 6, about 9 of them, maybe a little more, took more time just chiseling than it did constructing the whole loft. And so yeah, I have those chiseled out and then put in here on the sides there, and then they're just held in with 2.5 inch long and 3/8 wide bolt, and I have a brass insert, a brass screw-in insert that this screws into, and it is very, very stable. It hardly moves at all. And then in the back here I have a 2x4 going across the bottom to connect the sides, because I did one side and then the other, right? So the 4x4s can both sides mirror each other, and on this side it's the exact same story, right? See how they're in there, and then across the bottom as well. So I put those two up on the sides and then held them together with the 2x4 in the back, which I've since turned into a shelf and made another shelf, and I have painting to do and it's not done yet. Ongoing process, which I love. If you just buy one, you know, you can't customize it. I like customizing this stuff. And then I laid 2x4s across the top. Let me see if I can get a good angle here. And right, so the 2x4s just lay across the top here, and then in between them I have them screwed in here on the bottom. So you can't see that, but I have this bottom portion screwed in, and then it's bolted in with the same kind of bolt up here on the top. And so I have two of these that I just made I don't know what to call them. Sort of a box, if you will, right? So the long 2x4, the side 2x4, long 2x4, another side 2x4 held together. Made 2 of those, bolted them down, and yeah, did that twice, and then I added the decking up across the top there to hold my bed in place, and I'm very, very happy with it. It works extremely well. It's very, very stable. I ended up kind of running out of time. So on the back here you can see I have, I don't know if you can see it, I have the bottom 2x4 going across, which is painted and held in with a bolt, and then I have the angled 2x4s holding it together, which I just kind of, they're just screwed in and they're not painted yet. I'm going to go back in with bolts when I have a little bit of time, maybe in December, and hold that together with bolts. And so that works well, but that wasn't enough. I thought it'd be enough when I did the schematics. I thought that would be enough, and then I ended up adding these here on the front. I ended up adding some angled supports out here in the front, which are, I guess, temporary. I will go in and add bolts a little bit later and paint them when I have time. The only thing, working in such a small space, I built it all right in here, in this little hallway. So, and I made a shelf with the extra wood. So I was leaning it up against the wall. I didn't have any space to lay it flat on the ground, so it didn't quite come together exactly right in the corners here. It's a little bit not quite touching all the way in all spots. It's a little tipped because of that, but it holds very well, works very well. And then added the railing up on top, put in a little bit of a shelf here, and the ladder is just a temporary ladder as well, but it is just absolutely fantastic. I love it. If you need space, I would very much recommend building a loft. I think the whole loft was right around $300, and it took me about 3 weeks to construct because I was working in such a small space and because I chiseled everything out. You could probably easily make it, if you had all the proper tools and all the space, in about 4 days. So yeah, it's great though. I've brought my hammock back from Central America, and I have it hung now inside. I'm able to hang it up, and yeah. So, and I got all my inspiration from the tiny homes. And so if you want to know how to live small and use your space efficiently, like backpacking, you think about everything and where it goes and its use. But for living in a small area, I recommend looking at the tiny homes, and I'll post a link to my blog that talks a little bit about tiny homes, and it has some videos on there, some YouTube videos, link to YouTube videos. I'll put that in the description. And yeah, so I hope this helps, and if you want to construct a loft, I highly recommend it. It's excellent activity, and it can be an ongoing project, or you can just do it very quick depending on the time frame that you're working in. But for me, it's greatly improved my quality of life, and definitely give it a thumbs up.